Okay, so I want to talk about something else, and I've been in the mood of talking, so I decided to do a video instead of just typing this on Discord. Okay, like I'm not gonna be the type of guy that rants about balance in a single-player idle game, right? But of course I am. So, thing is, I want to talk today about the Hissatsu problem. Okay, so in general, balance is not an issue in a game like this, okay? And who am I to be complaining about the minute details of a single-player idle game, right? But thing is, and I have a small complaint, a small problem with the following point that I wanted to just send to the dev so that he can maybe have this other point of view about the situation of some numbers, specifically talking numbers, okay? Because it's kind of depressing. It's kind of depressing to see one of your characters, like when you do many different builds, there is no problem in a game like this if the builds have very different power levels. That's not a problem. What is a problem is when you see one of your characters, like all of our characters are supposed to do damage, but you have one of your characters just decimating everything that your team comes across, while the rest of the characters have absolutely no chance of doing anything whatsoever. This video is going to be called the Hissatsu problem, because Hissatsu is like the outlier in terms of like absurdly overpowered skill. But what I want to talk in this video about is just like discrepancy, like between build power levels that are way too far apart, okay? And some thematically weird stuff, right? So, I just hired this guy, okay? And I'll be talking specially about the ultimate skills. Skills are these things, right? So the ultimate ability of each skill tree. So let's use daggers as an example, okay? For some of the complaints I have. So I'm gonna order by, from highest level to lowest level. So, a double stab is a skill you use, is an ability, sorry, you use every 6 seconds, and it has 0.9, like 90% of your melee accuracy, okay? So, double stab is just you going in the direction of the enemy and doing tete, right? You go to the enemy and you stabby them, right? Triple stab, you go to the enemy and you stab them. But my point is, okay, this is the first skill, the first stab, the first dagger skill to deal damage that you get access to, okay? So it's the weakest of the dagger attacking skills. And it has a 90% melee accuracy. 0.9 melee accuracy, right? So this is an attack where you just go to the opponent and you, well, try to stab them twice in the belly to make them bleed or whatever. Now, assassinate. Oh, and you do this every 6 seconds, right? Of course, in this save, I have all of the bestiary completed, so some of the numbers will be not as a actual, you know, like zeroed character would. But anyway, every 6 seconds, 90%, 27 damage, right? 0.8 melee attack. My problem is, so assassinate. Well, assassinate means that your character will take its time and slowly walk behind the enemy and perform an effective assassination, because it's an assassin, because it's a master of daggers. A lot more damage, sure. 20-second delay, so it takes a very long time for your character to perform this movement. And you have 0.4 melee accuracy. 0.4. Really? You are telling me it's easier to hit your enemy if you, in 6 seconds, walk up to them and just stab them in the front, instead of taking 20 seconds to go hidden around them and assassinate them as a professional. That's what you're telling me. That it's easier to do this, to, like, in 6 seconds, run to my opponent and stab him with him seeing me. It's 2 times easier to hit this skill than to hit the skill that takes 20 seconds to perform an assassination. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like, why the hell would I wait 20 seconds to deal 120 damage that has a 0.4 of my accuracy chance to hit, while in that same time I can most likely hit every single hit every 6 seconds? And like 20 seconds. So I can perform this 3 times. 3 times this is 2.4. Yeah, 3 times this is 2.4 melee attack. So, sure, this is 3.4 and it ignores barrier. But I mean, you understand what I mean? Like, this is so slow, so hard to hit, that the payoff of ignoring barrier and applying vulnerable is useless. Like, why would I ever use this skill instead of using double stab, triple stab, double stab plus, and triple stab plus all together? Triple stab plus has 3 times more chance of hitting than this thing. And it deals more damage. And it even has sustain. Like, look at this. It's 3 times the chance of hitting. It deals more damage than this. And it's lower delay. Like, why would I ever use this? Makes no sense. Understand my problem? Like, this skill should have way more accuracy than any of the stabs, thematically speaking. This should be like 4 times melee accuracy for it to make sense. You know? And like, let's go to the other skills. And then many skills, like many abilities and many skill trees will represent the same problem. The ultimate ability will be miserably weaker than any of the earlier counterparts. Okay, but let's go to the actual comparison that I wanted to do in this video, which is, and I want you guys to remember, Katana has the strongest perks in the game because of how it chains from... It has one of the best unique weapons in the game. It chains from counters to normal skills, so you can force low cooldown, very high cooldown, very slow skills to just be machine gunned by your other skills. And you also have that thing that makes all melee attacks, you know, have a chance of proccing twice. Of course, that's something you can use with any melee attack, but my point is, Katana has the most potential in the game of forcing high cooldowns to just be forced to be used, right? Talking about melee attacks here, of course, because magic attacks have activated whack. And I'll get that to a second. I'll get to that in a second, okay? So let's go to all skills, specifically the ultimate skills, okay? And I want you guys to just make a comparison with me, okay? So, Devastation is times 6 magic power and times 3 magic accuracy. This is and it's AoE. It's a very strong spell that takes an absurd amount of time, but since it can be forced with activated whack, and it's very good with Cascade, that's not a problem. It's a very strong spell. Okay? Charge, times 3 melee attack. Sure. The same problem again. 0.06 melee accuracy. That's very low. Hitting this skill is very difficult. Okay? Almost impossible if we are talking about any enemy with high agility. Giant delay. Sure, it ignores physical defense and barrier and cannot be blocked, which is very strong. But still remains the problem. For the amount of time that you are waiting this charge, number one, most enemies would already be dead by then when you cast this. And this is not the type of skill that you have a way of forcing it to activate. Okay, this can only be used with a lance, and there is no lance skill that forces melee abilities to activate. So you will have to wait the entire 30 seconds. No monster that is not a boss survives that long. And even if it does, it's way more damage to just spam low cooldown abilities than to use this. So, my point again. Number one, the cooldown is way too high, and even if it wasn't, the melee accuracy, the accuracy of the skill is way too low for it. Imagine waiting 33 seconds for the attack to always miss, because the enemy has a little bit more agility than you have accuracy. You know, because the point is, even if you have the same accuracy as your enemy has agility, well, this ability doesn't use your entire accuracy. It uses a percentage of your melee accuracy. Sure, accuracy scales with mastery. I know that. All accuracies and all damage scales with the mastery you have over that specific type of weapon's skill. Sure, but still my point remains. Way too long of a cooldown for way too little of a payoff. Okay, so this does 3 times melee damage with those benefits here. Devastation is way stronger in general. Hurricane, 2.5 melee attack times 5 attacks. So this ability deals 12.5 times your melee attack, and applies dizzy, and has good accuracy, and has lower cooldown. Of course, the problem is, you can only use Hurricane without any weapons equipped, so the damage will be very low in general. At least until the expansion comes with fist weapons, right? But anyway, let's keep going. Assassinate, as I said. Decent damage, but abysmally bad accuracy, and a huge delay. Final Blade. Yeah. Okay, this one has very good accuracy. Not that big of a delay, although it has a very big cooldown. But yeah, it's decent damage, it's very good accuracy, and it has a decent effect. Sure, this is an okay attack. Ultra Smash. 4 times melee attack. The highest single damage hit in the game for melee. Nice, very good damage. Inflicts dizzy and vulnerable. Very nice. Accuracy, abysmal. Very bad. So still, I'd rather cast Bonk 1,000,000 times in 30 seconds than use this once. Let's see, this deals, and that's my problem, this deals 4 times melee attack in 30 seconds. What about Bonk? Where is Bonk? Do we have Bonk here? Bonk. So Bonk deals 1 times melee attack and has more accuracy than the ultimate skill for club, and can be used with more weapons than the ultimate skill for club, and it also applies dizzy. And my point is, this takes 30 seconds to deal 4 times damage. This, in 7.5 seconds, deals 1.1 damage. So, let's think about it. In 30 seconds, this attack can be used 3 to 4 times. Okay, so basically you're telling me that Bonk, in the same time it takes to cast Ultra Smash, deals more damage than Ultra Smash with a higher accuracy. Does that make any sense? Like, the ultimate skill of the ultimate ability of this skill, 3, deals less damage and has less accuracy than the base skill for the same 3. This is completely useless. You know, because you need a club to use this. And there is no skill here that will make this go faster. There isn't. You know, that's my problem with how the game is, the numbers are now. Basically, all ultimate abilities are useless. Completely useless. Why would I use this? If I can just spam Bonk. Now tell me, Bonk Plus hits harder than Bonk and has a higher delay than Bonk. So, you take more time focusing your attack to cast Bonk Plus than to cast Bonk. And you are telling me it's easier to hit Bonk with 90% melee accuracy than Bonk Plus with 80%? It's easier to hit a nonchalant, low-effort attack than an attack that you are actually trying your best? Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. You know? And that's my comparison. Like, Devastation, very good ability. Charge, mediocre. Hurricane, okay-ish. Assassinate, trash, absolutely useless. Final Blade, okay, I guess. Ultra Smash, weak, very weak, useless ability. And then if we go a little bit more to the level 90 ones, Dunkuken, times 8 melee ability, 10 times. So this ability deals 8 times melee accuracy and cannot be dodged. I don't even know why it shows accuracy there, because it cannot be dodged. It says accuracy, but it's impossible to miss, so doesn't matter the accuracy. But the problem is not that. The problem is, this is a level 90 ability with a cooldown not that long, that cannot miss, and deals 8 times your attack. This ability is stronger than any of the other ultimate abilities in the game. Which takes me to the Hissatsu problem. Hissatsu deals 3 times melee attack, 5 times. I will repeat what I said. This skill deals 15 times your melee attack. Yes, defense works in a way in which, sure, the damage mitigated from these attacks that deal many hits will be bigger than the damage mitigated from a just single powerful hit. Sure, okay. But if the defense of your enemy is not that gigantic, or if your damage is very, very high by default, the defense of your enemy will not do that much to differentiate between the damage of a single hit and many small hits. But again, this ability hits one time with 4 times damage. This ability deals 5 times 3 times damage, going up to 15 times your damage, and cannot be dodged. Yes, the cooldown is very long, but then you remember, it's a katana skill. You can just force it to activate. Oh, by the way, it's also a magic ability. So activated whack can also force this to activate. So, welcome to the Hissatsu problem. This ability, deals 3 to 4 times more damage than any other ability in the game. It cannot be dodged, and you have 2 different ways of forcing it to instantly activate every single fight. This skill causes every single combat in this game to take 2 to 3 seconds to end. Because either if you activate your activated whack, or if the enemies attack you and activate your counter abilities, that then through the perk will forcefully activate this ability, the enemy dies. The enemy instantly gets evaporated from existence. This is not the strongest ability in the game, this is the only strong ability in the game. Because other than Hissatsu, no other ultimate ability is worth using. Every single ultimate ability in the game is, of course the buffs are good. Of course, you know, like execute is good because it's a percentage of their health. But my thing is, the pure damage dealing ultimates in the game, so Ultra Smash, Final Blade, Assassinate, and Charge, and even Devas, all of these skills, when compared to Hissatsu, are completely, all of these abilities, when compared to Hissatsu, are completely useless. Absolutely useless. And more than that, Hissatsu is very strong. Very, very, very strong. All of the other ones are worse and weaker than the first attacking ability of the same tree. Double Slice deals more damage in general than Final Blade. Although Final Blade is okay. But again, Bonk is way stronger than Ultra Smash. Double Stab is way stronger than Assassinate. Joust is stronger than Charge. Yeah, it's the same accuracy. This goes faster. And like, you see, 56 plus 56 is 102 damage. So, in the time it takes me to use this, I have already used this 2 or 3 times. And it has the same chance to hit. Yes, these have a lot of effects. They ignore things, they, you know, have more penetration or whatever. But will a monster actually survive 33 seconds of combat until this goes off? No, most definitely not. I have never seen a non-raid boss survive more than 20 seconds. It does not happen. They get evaporated. Especially if you are using a actually strong attack. Like, if I have the basic attack of a weapon, it's usually stronger, way stronger than the ultimate ability of that same tree. That's the problem. Why would I ever use these skills? There is no reason to, you know? And again, the game goes too fast and is too easy with Hissatsu being as strong as it is. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a magic ability that deals the most melee damage in the game, and it can be forced by both staves and katanas to be activated instantly again and again and again and again. This is the outlier. This is the problem. Like, there is no point in using any other build that's not this one, like, if you just want to progress through the game. Of course, as I said, this is a single-player game. This is a game for you to experiment with builds. Of course, you don't have to try and min-max the game. It makes no sense. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that when one of my characters is a katana wielder, well, my other two characters will never cast their skills. You know? Like, if I want my mage and my club user to level up, I cannot use a katana user. If I use a katana user, he will kill everything by himself in seconds. Like in 3 or 4 seconds of combat, everything will die without my other characters even getting to use their skills. So that's kinda problematic in my opinion, you know? So yeah, number one, these skills have no reason to have accuracy in their descriptions because they cannot be dodged. Other than that, they are way, way, way too strong. They have to be nerfed. Okay, there are some other outliers, right? But yeah, like in general, yeah, activated whack, you know, it says non-melee ability. The problem is, well, Katana has Hissatsu. Now, let's go to Katana again, okay? Other than Hissatsu, we also have Yokogiri and Yokogiri Plus, okay? Are these the ones? Yes, these are the ones. Perform 3 magic slashes at an enemy dealing your melee attack as magical damage. This ability cannot be dodged. Yeah, so like, they are literally smaller versions of Hissatsu. And they do basically the same thing, and they are as strong as Hissatsu. So you see why Katana is the problem? At level 30, 60, and 100, you increase the strength of, well, the most damage you can basically do at that point in the game. Because if I use Yokogiri with Yaijutsu and with Activated Whack, no, Activated Whack is only later in the game, right? Yeah, it's just 90. But you see my point, right? These are very high damage scaling abilities that are magic abilities, so they abuse some other mechanics. And they cannot miss. Especially this one and this one. So yeah, Hissatsu is the outlier, is the problem. Let me see if there's anything else that has caught my attention here. But yeah, like in general, my problem is... Oh yeah, there are 2 things more. So number 1, okay, what we have to think about is... So let me take Dagger here. So double stab grants 14 Dagger skill experience, right? Double stab grants 14 Dagger skill experience. Every 6 seconds. 14 every 6 seconds. So basically, every second, this is giving 2? Yeah. This is giving 2 something. Okay? And something between 2 and 3 experience per second. Okay? Assassinates grants 30 in 20 seconds. This skill takes 20 seconds to give 30 skill experience. Let's think about this for a second. So, it gives you 1.5 skill experience on use. Sorry, per second. This gives you 1.5 skill experience on use per second. Sorry, not on use, per second. Okay? 1.5 per second. This gives something between 2 and 3. why would I use this ability? There is no reason for me to use this ability. This ability needs to give like 60 skill experience on use for it to actually help you to level. Especially because the fight doesn't even take 20 seconds. It finishes before that. You see my problem with the ultimate skills? They are useless for DPS, they are useless for leveling, they don't get used most of the fights. Like, why the hell would I ever use this skill? There's no point. Literally no point. So, yeah. Ultimate skills need to have their... Either basic skills need to be slower, or ultimate skills need to be either faster, or have way more accuracy, or grant way more experience. Probably all of the previous things I said are needed. This would need to deal like 0.4 or... sorry. This skill would need to do like 5 times melee damage with 2 or 3 times melee accuracy and give 60 to 7th dagger skill experience for it to actually be a good skill. Because currently, it's not. Let me see if there are other skills that have caught my attention for similar things, but yeah, I don't think so. The only other skill that I can think about that is an absolutely outlier is like Tornado Plus, for example, and Tornado. Because like, if you think about it, what is Tornado? Here. So Tornado deals 4 times 6... This deals 2.4 magic power every 10 seconds. 2.4 at 1 magic accuracy. Tornado Plus deals 12. It's 7.2. Yes, this skill deals 7.2 magic power every 15 seconds. It's more damage than Devastation at a way lower cooldown. It's just funny, you know, like it's just weird. Yes, sure, this can be blocked many times, this can be reduced more by defense, by magic defense than this one, for sure. But still, you see what I mean, right? You have... like, this skill deals... like, this skill. Yeah? Yeah. Even Foxfire, you know, if you're not forcing Devastation to proc, and that's the thing, you know, like... So if I go here to Club, Bonk deals more DPS than Ultra Smash in any situation. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to ramble about, because it annoys me a little bit when playing the game that, you know, like, if I want a challenge, and if I want my other characters to also deal damage and level and whatever, I cannot use a katana on my main guy. Otherwise, he will do everything by himself. So, And the perks are the problem here, right? But because every single tree here has something decent in terms of perks. The problem is, this perk is the most busted thing in the game. This is ridiculous. Like, the fact that this exists is what makes Katana, like, by far the strongest weapon in the game, and there is no comparison. It's just the strongest. Dagger tries to come close, because it's very, 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 very fast, but yeah, like, you guys understand what I'm talking about, right? This has been 35 minutes of me just rambling, but yeah, I really wanted to talk about this, because I think it's currently the only balance problem this game has. is how weak the ultimates are, how low XP they give, and the fact that the most optimal way of playing this game is just using very fast and weak abilities on loop and never using the ultimate ones, except for this monstrosity here. And yeah, that's enough of me. I just wanted to ramble a bit. See you next time, guys.